All right, excellent. Well, then let's go ahead. It's 10 o'clock and call this meeting to order. This is a special MCE Finance Committee meeting, Friday, May 8th, 2026. If we go ahead and begin with roll call, please.
Belvedere,
Present.
Lafayette,
Present.
Larkspur,
Here.
Napa County,
Here.
Vallejo. Quorum established.
Thank you very much. The next item on our agenda is public open time, also known as public comment. Do we have anybody here that would like to provide any public comment that's anything that's not on this agenda? I don't have anybody. Maybe we should do roll call for each location and online, please.
I see no hands raised online, Chair. Can we check with Concord?
There are no members of the public in Concord.
Very good. And there's nobody in my office for public comment. Anybody in any of the other locations?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, excellent. Then we'll move on to item 3, which is the consent calendar. This is a discussion action, and it's just to approve the March 26th meeting minutes. Do we have any changes or anybody want to pull this item? And if not, then we'll accept a motion to
So
approve
moved.
it.
So moved.
Second, Wilkinson.
Great, we have a motion by McCormick and a second by Wilkinson. Please, let's have a roll call vote.
Belvedere,
Yes.
Lafayette,
Yes.
Larkspur,
Yes, sorry. Yes.
thank you. No worries. Napa County.
Yes.
And has Vallejo joined us yet? No. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Item number 4 is a report from our Chief Operating Officer. Vicken, would you like to?
Sure. Well, good morning, Finance Committee and any members of the public. Dawn is currently on leave, and I'm serving as the acting CEO while she's out. Staff is having a credit review with the Standard & Poor's ratings on Monday, May 11th. The next item may answer partially, at least, Director Wilkinson's previous question, is that the Baker Tilly, MCE's current external auditor, started the preliminary fieldwork for the fiscal year 25-26 financial audit. And Baker Tilly independently will reach out to our board chair, some board members, and the CEO for a meeting to start the audit. Just as an FYI, Baker Tilly's 3-year contract will end at the end of this year, 2026, which is the final year of the agreement, and the staff will prepare a draft RFP to choose an auditor to FinCom approval by the end of this year, 2026. As far as the financial security requirement update, FSR, current estimates project that the May 2026 requirements will be significantly reduced from previously reported $27 million number to $2.6 million. And we expect that that was due to milder forward energy prices on the Intercontinental Exchange Index, which is nicknamed ICE. And also, we had some discussions about banking-related issues, and I just want to report that staff is planning to transfer about $100 million from River City Bank to California's local agency investment fund, it's called LAIF, and Chandler Asset Management. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions among the directors here before we open this up to public comment? Yes, Director Wilkinson.
Vicken, thank you for that update. A quick question there on the transfer of funds from River City Bank to LAIF. Did you, in that process, consider some of the other public sector fund managers like CalTrust, for example, just to see which was the best performing?
Maida, I'm going to give it to our CFO, Maida, to see what the details are. Go ahead, Maida.
Sure, thank you. Thanks, Vicken. Hello, committee. Yes, we looked into also CalTrust, CalFit, and they're very similar, and we thought that LAIF would be a best option for MCE.
Was that based just on performance, or what was the determination there?
It was based on performance and also on we are trying to hedge a little bit, so performance is not the top reason why we're choosing that. So it's mostly for stability, and that's mainly why we chose that. But we are not going to put all the 100 million on it. We are going to split between Cam, our money manager, and LAIF. And we've had a LAIF account for many years. We just haven't used it. So also Cam also manages another fund called CalFit, but we chose to go with LAIF.
Okay, thank you.
More to come on that one, Director. So,
Thank you for that question. Any other questions from the directors? Not seeing any. I've lost Steph. Oh, there you are, Stephanie. Lost your image. Yes, Stephanie, please. Director Andre, I should say.
Thank you. So that leaves about 100 million left in River City, or how much is left at River City and how much is left at JP Morgan? Thank you.
Sure. At JP Morgan, we have a little bit less than 10 million. We use JP Morgan mostly as our backup bank, and the returns there are significantly lower than RCB or any or other options we have. So that's why we don't have a lot of money at JP Morgan. And Efren, do you remember how much would it be? I'll let Efren speak about that.
Yeah, I can answer that. Let me just pull up the model that we have.
Yeah, Efren modeled out, and he has all the details with how much we would stay and how much we have to keep a certain amount at River City Bank to continue having the returns we have, and that's why we chose that 100 million could be an amount that would also keep the rate we have at River City Bank. That's why we're transferring about 100, so we can hedge a little bit where our funds are and not completely compromise how much we get from River City Bank. So that's the model that Efren will speak.
Yeah, so to answer the question, if we remove $100 million from RCB and cash deposits, we're left with about $160 million at RCB. But that's going to fluctuate depending on payments and any collateral requirements of the ISO. But I think 160 is a pretty good baseline.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to welcome Director Palmares.
Yeah.
Looks like you're in the Concord conference room, and you're from the city of Vallejo. So welcome, Director Palmares. Do you have any questions?
No, none so far. Thank you, Director.
Okay, thank you. Director McCormick.
Chair. Yeah, just very quick. I just wanted to, you were speaking of the FSR requirement going down from 27 million to 2.6 million.
Yes.
2.6 seems just like such a trivial. I mean, can you just clarify? I mean, it seems good, right? Because that frees up the 25 million plus or whatever that we can use more for our own needs, correct?
Yes, yes. Just for to set the stage, it used to be in the hundreds of thousands.
Oh, okay.
It became into the low millions, a couple million and what have you. But as I reported previously, for November, we're still looking at something that could be close to 80 million. But again, this is the closed box calculations that happens with the PUC and the investor-owned utility. And our policy group continues to work on it to make it more palatable to the CCA world, involving with Cal CCA. So, but yeah, this is a really good outcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's all primarily related, in my opinion, to the market conditions that we are in with lower energy costs.
All right, good. So the macro picture is looking good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. It looks like all the directors have been able to ask their questions. Do we have any public comment or on this?
I see no raised hands online, Chair.
Okay, great. Very good. So this was just for discussion in terms of this report out by our COO. Let's move on to item number 5, which is the credit facility extension. This is a discussion and action item. And Vicken, you'll be taking this too?
Yeah, this is our CFO again, Maida Strauss. So go ahead, Maida.
Thank you, thank you, Vicken, and good afternoon, committee. So I will run briefly about the staff report, which is a recommendation for approval of 1 year, recommendation to the board for approval of 1 year extension of the current agreement through May 21st, 2027, and an increase in the facility from 60 to 80 million. So we have negotiated an agreement with RBC for the extension, and during the extension period, we intend to conduct a new competitive RFP for a longer-term credit facility. In longer term, think about 3 years. As a background, the current facility was selected through a RFP process in 2022. Montague DeRose and Associates, or MDA, how they call themselves, is supporting staff in this work as our municipal advisors. James Bemis is on the call. James is traveling, so he's joining from his cell phone with us, and he will be going through the fee structure and the market conditions. So from a fiscal perspective, the annual commitment fee on the facility is approximately 33 basis points on the facility amount. And based on the proposed increase from 280 million, the annual cost would be approximately $264,000. Staff also negotiated the increase of the facility with no increase in the fee rate. With that, we recommend that the Finance Committee recommend board approval of the 1 year extension and the increase of the 80 million. I will pass it on to James Bemis, who is the principal of MDA, to go over a little bit more about market conditions. Please, James.
Sure. Thank you, Mara. I apologize if there's background noise. I'm traveling, but I did want to be available for the committee meeting. So we're active in the bank solicitation market quite often. Our clients include the California State Treasurer's Office, Department of Water Resources, San Francisco PUC, and so on and so forth. So we're very familiar with the conditions in the bank market. As I told your staff on our call the other day, those banking conditions are about where they were when you entered into the original agreement with RBC. I would imagine when you go out for the new RFP, pricing will be roughly what it is now, probably have the same. When we did this,
Jim, we're having a hard time
in
to hear you.
2024. Yes.
We're having a hard time to hear
I'm sorry
you.
about that. Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, sorry about that. I don't know where I fell off, but just talking about banking conditions, they're roughly, I think, where they were when you entered into the agreement a couple of years ago with RBC. I would expect pricing to be roughly what it is now. And I think you'll find hopefully more bank interest. Last RFP, we got 3 proposals. Hopefully we'll get more this time, but banking conditions haven't deteriorated at this point. So I would expect roughly the same banking conditions as they were in 2024. And I think you'll get proposals very similar to what you got then.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Maida, is there anything else you want to share before we ask questions of the board, of the committee?
No, just nothing else. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Director Wilkinson?
Thank you. Maida, given what we've just learned in terms of the FSR requirement, why are we still looking to increase the size of the facility right now?
We're increasing in case, couple of things. One, in case the FSR. So the FSR is going to be lower this time, but there's another review towards the end of the year, and that one can be quite large, and we have to be prepared for that one. So it could be up to 70 million, but as you know, prices fluctuate, and sometimes we get good surprises as we just did. So that's reason number one. And reason number two, it's because we have seen in general, not only FSR, but other market swings that basically at MCE, when it swings, sometimes it can swing very wide. So we feel like we should be prepared for if something happening, we might need to use that. So those are the main reasons why we increased to 80 million. And just as a perspective, comparing to other CCAs, we are in the very, very lower end of a facility. Larger CCAs like CPA or AVA, San Diego, they have up to 250 million. So 80 million is, we are really in the lower end. And I am not suggesting we go up to 250.
I guess it's just that we're pretty well positioned already in terms of days cash on hand. And so I guess is this increase more targeted at the fact that the, I don't know, that's S&P or Moody's are doing a credit assessment right now, and you're just looking to be in a very good position there, or you want this extra liquidity?
Yes, we want the extra liquidity. It has nothing to do with review.
Okay, and then a couple of other questions I had. I guess this is for James. In terms of the description of the RFP, does this pretty much match what you put out last time in terms of the minimum credit rating, etc.?
Yes, I think it'll be very similar to what we sent last time. We do want the credit ratings to provide you with a bank, or the credit rating standards to provide you with a bank that could put up a letter of credit that would be acceptable to your counterparties in lieu of collateral. So, for example, Cal ISO requires banks to have a short-term rating of either A1 or P1. That's why we crafted the requirements that way, because that way we'll get a bank that can provide a letter of credit for you. The other thing is Moody's upgrade. When Moody's upgraded you, they did cite the strength of your liquidity, which is one of the purposes for the facility with RBC. And so they also have criteria that they want the minimum rating of that bank to be at or higher than the borrower. So we want to make sure that the rating agencies are comfortable with the bank liquidity as well. So that's the purpose for those minimum rating requirements.
Because right now you've got it listed as A2 as a minimum, which seems below what you've just talked about.
Pardon me, what bank was that?
No, you've listed the long-term rating requirement of at least A2.
No, I'm sorry. They want Cal ISO wants short-term ratings of at least A1 or P1.
Okay.
So those I was referring to short-term ratings.
Okay, fine. And then the other question I had there in terms of the RFP, this commitment to environmental sustainability is like such a nebulous thing. How do you even assess that?
I'm sorry, assess what?
It's the commitment to environmental sustainability that's listed in the RFP as a requirement for a bank. That's such a crazy, I mean, anybody can claim that or not. And how do you assess that?
Well, that's sort of a policy issue that we leave to your staff to evaluate. So as an advisor, we don't set those standards. Those are in conjunction with the policy of the borrower or the issuer. And so I think we leave the staff to determine that. Now, banks, when banks respond, they all have very elaborate responses because they're all either under regulators or under their own environmental requirements by their by the bank themselves. So they all they have sort of pat answers that they give to that question, and then it's I think it's up to your staff to decide whether they're up to your standards or not. But all banks are prepared to respond to that because they are asked for that quite often.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Director Wilkinson. Director McCormick.
Great, thank you. And Dr. Wilkinson did ask the question I was kind of going to relate with the lowering of the FSR requirement related to the increase in our reserve. I just want to understand, it seems like a great opportunity, especially if we're not being charged anything more, which is just really amazing. Is there any downside? I mean, it feels like I think I'm all about having a little more liquidity, flexibility, and having the credit line ready for us, especially if this doesn't have us any additional fees. Is there any downside we should be aware of on this? Is there any concerns?
And anybody can answer that.
I'm sorry, I guess, yeah.
Or James.
Yeah, thanks, Director McCormick. For somehow you kind of breaking up in the beginning.
Oh, sorry about that.
But
basically, it was the question: just is there any given we keep our fees the same because you've negotiated no change in fees going from 60 million to 80 million credit line, and it gives us the flexibility for just being able to absorb more costs as needed because we don't know what the FSR is going to be. Is there any downside to this particular recommendation? It seems like a good business choice.
I agree with you.
Okay.
No, yeah.
But you're paying 33 basis points on the notional, so it's increasing your costs, correct?
It is.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay, if it is, then so let me just explain. No rate fee increase. I see. So we're still 33 basis points on the 20 million, but we just did an increase of 33 basis points.
Exactly.
I get it. So there is a little bit more out of pocket costs.
Yes.
On annual, that's annualized. Okay. Okay, great. Still seems like a pretty good. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Director Andre.
Great, thank you. What is our typical usage under the line of credit?
We have not used our line of credit to this day.
Okay, so it's really just for capacity or to have that liquidity.
Exactly.
Okay. And do we know what can you tell us what the pricing is, the current pricing?
Sure. Jim, you want to take that? He'll give you all the more details.
Thank you.
Yes. So there's an annual commitment fee of 33 basis points. As we talked, as we mentioned, there's no increase to the fee, but there will be a higher cost because you're going from 60 million to 80 million in capacity. In addition to that, if you were to borrow under the facility, you would pay an index rate, which is called SOFR, which is an overnight secured index that changes daily. So the index would be SOFR plus on top of SOFR, you would pay 120 basis points above that. So SOFR right now is about 3.8% and rather 3.6%. And then with 120 basis points on top of that, if you were to borrow, the borrowing rate would be 4.6%. If you were to do a letter of credit to put up a letter of credit in lieu of collateral, that letter of credit would cost you 120 basis points as well. So you would pay on the amount of the letter of credit, 120 basis points would be your cost for that.
Thank you. That's helpful.
And if I may add, sorry, Director Alicio,
Yes, please.
to Director Andre's question about that we don't have too many tools in the financial world, but we are very cautious with our days of cash on hand. And if we have a large bill, large invoice, like Maida mentioned, or a requirement to do, we'd rather not spend our cash. So this is a significantly cheaper alternative that does not provide negative input to us. So it's like, having a good credit card in your pocket in case you need it instead of using your cash. Sorry if it's a bad example, but just a little bit added content. Thank you.
It's actually a very good, that's a good analogy. Exactly.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Vicken. And Mr. Bemis.
Director Palmares, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I do. Thank you, Chair. So do we try to negotiate for a higher amount higher than 80 million?
No, we have not tried to do that
Okay.
because we don't feel like it's necessary at this point, but it can certainly be done.
I see. So then how do we arrive at 80 million?
So our FSR could be up to 70 million, and we had 60 million before. So we thought that having 80 million and could be a good strategy. And we also thought about maybe if we were to post that 70 million on FSR, we could do a combination with letter of credit and cash.
I understand, but I mean, is there anything that we can hang our hat on in terms of modeling that says, yeah, this makes sense for us, that kind of cushion, versus, and I don't want to be crude about this, but does it feel like we're eyeballing, like, yeah, this feels right, this looks right? I mean, is it based off of professional experience, or is there some sort of, I don't know, statistical way that we can hang our hat on this?
So we look into what we might need, but there is it's an educated guess, director,
Yeah,
because there is no way we can predict how much market prices are going to be. There is no way we can predict what regulators are going to be asking of us. So I will say that's the best educated guess we could come up with, and that's the one. But like I said, we can certainly increase more, but we're going to have to pay for it.
I see. Okay. All right, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Director. Efren, I saw earlier that you had your hand raised. Is there anything you want to add to this conversation?
No, Director, I think Maida covered it. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Very good. So then on that, do we have any public comment on this?
I see no raised hands online, Chair.
Okay. Is there anybody in Concord that has a public comment? Director Palmares? No? Okay. Director Andre, do you have anybody in your office for a public comment? No? Okay. And Director Wilkinson, same, and Director McCormick, nobody and nobody here. So I think we've covered that. Do we have a motion to approve this recommendation by staff?
So moved, Wilkinson.
Okay, we have a motion by Wilkinson
Second, Andre.
and a second by Andre. Roll call, please.
Belvedere,
Yes.
Lafayette,
Yes.
Larkspur,
Yes.
Napa County,
Yes.
Vallejo.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Excellent. That was a great discussion, and thank you. I think our expert, there he is, Mr. Burmis. Thank you for being here. It was very helpful. Appreciate your contribution to this discussion.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 6, MCE Quarterly Treasurer's Report. And I don't recall, is this Maida? Is this Bicken? Who's gonna do this?
You
Maida?
said it right. It's Maida. So Maida
Okay.
can start.
This is actually Efren.
Efren.
Oh, Efren.
So Efren
I almost
is
said
doing it.
Efren. I almost said Efren. I was
Sorry,
right there.
Efren.
No worries. Okay, so I believe you should be seeing my screen now. Is that correct?
No,
No,
Efren.
not yet.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, so I believe now it should be working.
Yes.
Okay, great. So we wanted to take an opportunity to go over the latest quarterly treasurer's report. This went out to the full board I believe towards the end of April. It reports on results from Q1 through Q3, and it also includes a monthly treasurer's report for the month of March 2026. I want to take a moment to go over some of the changes that we incorporated based on the feedback that we received from your committee the last time we met. And then we will open it up for discussion to go over any questions or comments that you may have on the information presented. So I will go to attachment B because this is where the changes are implemented. The first thing I'll note is last time we received some feedback that the change in net position was not quite matching with the financial statements. And the reason for that is because we were showing the change in net position as reported in the operating fund. And to get to the change in net position in the financial statements, you also have to subtract the program expenses that are funded by MCE in the other two funds, specifically the Program Development Fund and the Resiliency Virtual Power Plant Fund. So after doing that, you'll notice that the change in net position is very much aligned with what you see in the financial statements, although it doesn't exactly match. The reason for that is because the statements include other GAAP items, such as depreciation, that the budget here does not include. But in general, the numbers will be pretty close to each other. So that was the first change we implemented. The other comment that we received last time was that we should include a section on the Super 6, which we have done. So now you'll see a budget variance analysis on the Super 6, and you will also find a short description of what drove the variance right below the table that you see here. And if we keep going down, I want to highlight another change that we implemented. So we also received some really good feedback here to include load. So we have done that. We're showing a 12-month rolling average for load. And on top of that, we're showing opt-outs as well as the net monthly change in customer count. So the gray dashed line that you see here, this is the opt-outs. And the bright yellow is showing our monthly change in customer count. So this number is effectively the net between customer move-ins, customer move-outs, opt-ins, and opt-outs. So those were the three changes that we implemented based on the feedback that we received last time. And now I will open it up for discussion. I'm happy to go over any of the information presented here.
Thank you, Efren. Who would like to ask any questions? I'm looking for Director Hands, and I'm not seeing anybody. Oh, Director Andre?
Great. Can you all hear me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Perfect. Thank you. Hey, great changes, Efron and finance team. Really appreciate the additional information that you all are showing. I just have a couple of quick questions. I think one, it would be helpful just to see somewhere what the quarterly results are, because I think in the financial statements that we see from Maher, it's year to date, and it's hard to break out what the actual quarter was. So if we could get it back on the Maher statements or just somewhere in the treasurer's report, it would be helpful to just be able to see that. And then on the customer information, so on that load graph, is that when you say net monthly change in customer, so that's a customer count that's not based on load, correct?
That's correct, Director. So this is just what we're seeing in terms of new customers joining or leaving MCE.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think, although and the load is a 12-month rolling average,
correct,
which would smooth out any. I guess what I'm trying to ask is, if we are starting to see, dips in load or customer load, I think that's probably helpful for the committee to see. So I'm worried about the larger commercial customers where, the customer change, the counts may not be moving very much, but we could have a very large customer opt out, and that could really impact our load. And that may not show up because you're showing a 12-month rolling average on the load. So
sure. Yeah, we can change this to, say, a 3-month rolling average. I believe the reason we did 12 was, I think that was, it might have been your recommendation, Director, so that's why we chose the 12 months.
Yeah, I do like the 12-month rolling average just to see a smoothing of the trends. But somehow we also want to keep an eye on not just the number of customers opting out, but if we do have a large customer opt out, that that gets flagged somehow. So
Yeah,
I don't know if that's too much to incorporate into
no,
this
no.
one
But
this one
Director
graph,
Andre,
which I really like this graph. I don't know
yeah,
if it's too much or if we break that out in some other way.
yeah. Director Andre, please trust me, we are watching that like a hawk.
Okay,
Given
perfect.
the system conditions, given prices that you all went through in the budget and the exposures on PCIA, energy, capacity, all this stuff, please believe me, we are watching it continuously with the data without needing to wait for PG&E to tell us anything, but that would impact basically load, which impacts procurement, which could impact RA and what have you. So if and when that happens, you will be informed. So absolutely, we are watching that. This is just as a for a treasury report is what we would like to show based on input and questions provided. What you are emphasizing is very strategic input for the agency's operations that we are continuously, I mean, daily watching it. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you, Director McCormick, and then Director Wilkinson.
Yeah, no, excellent changes. I appreciate that. I just wanted to just this graph is a good one to do. I mean, it's like I'm always a little leery of these graphs that combine several different data sets in one. But this is interesting. So if I'm reading this correctly, just to confirm that even though we've added, and it's hard to say, 8 to 9,000 net over the 12-month period or whatever, it's hard to say. Obviously, Hercules adding. And then it looks like every month since then, we've added somewhere between 100 plus net or more a month. Our overall energy consumption, even with the 12-month average, has gone down. Or am I reading that right? Our load is continually dropping, which is like, do we attribute that just to the weather, just the summer?
That's correct.
Cool summer. Is that how to really understand this?
Yeah, that's correct. So the load is largely shaped by weather effects. And even if we see, say, a big commercial customer leave, it might just show up as noise in the data. Weather by far has the biggest impact on load.
Okay. Great. No, it was just kind of interesting, but I guess that does make sense. I think that the fact that every month we continue to add, if I'm reading this correctly, net new customers, because if we have the opt-out rate there, the opt-out rates are so much less than that's notable. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Thank you, Director Wilkinson.
Thank you. Can I just because this chart is really useful here, but it is a little confusing. So is that right, everyone, that even though people are opting out, we're still having other people add, and so the net is in addition to customer numbers?
Yeah, that's correct, Director Wilkinson. So we tend to see more move-ins than we see opt-outs and move-outs, and that favors MCE. So we typically do see a gain in customers on a monthly basis.
Oh, because that means that if anyone moves house, they're automatically opted into MCE. So you've got a natural benefit there. Okay,
right.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I had only one question around the breakdown of energy, the Super 6 there.
Yeah.
And that's a really great breakdown that we see. So thank you very much for adding that additional layer of detail. I just had one question. It was just for my understanding around the carbon free. There's a description there that says that you've overshot on carbon-free costs because of an increase in RA deliveries. Vicken, can you explain that to me? Because I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, so I believe Cal is on the call, and he's from our procurement team, so I'll pass this off to Cal.
Yeah, I can take it on. Thank you for the question, Director Wilkinson. I'm Director of Power Systems and Analytics in Power Resources, also helping with the rates. So good observation there. So we wanted RA, I think, and we one of the ways to get it is import RA. Plus, there is another obligation to meet is the MTR requirement, which is a part of the IRP cycle, mandatory procurement. If there is a slippage of long-term contracts, we have to bridge it with another resource in the interim, and that bridge comes from an import resource, not from the existing system, coming from outside. So to meet MTR obligations, the bridge comes from import, And by the way, it also counts for RA. So we had to co-optimize for RA, but primarily it's procured to meet MTR requirement. And when we buy import RA, it has to be bundled with energy. We have to take the energy delivery as well, not just capacity. So when we procured a clean RA in this aspect from a hydro resource, or ACS battery source. Hence, it comes to us, our carbon free.
But why do you bundle that in carbon free rather than RA in terms of the different buckets?
Because it was shown on RA. It's an import RA product. But it's a good point. Since it counts for energy, we bundle it towards, it's kind of counting towards both, Mr. Wilkinson, if that helps, but it's helping with our carbon free requirement. I think that's how we kind of put it in there. But it also makes a case to kind of show it under resource adequacy.
Yeah, because I understand, maybe I misunderstand it, because I understand that carbon free is essentially just the carbon free credit, and that's what we're paying for. And I know the energy, they supply clean energy or carbon free energy to California as a result, but we don't capture or pay for that in any way. And so this seems a bit of a weird bundling here between carbon free and RA.
Yeah.
Am I misunderstanding that?
No, I think you got it right. It's a gray area. It's a product we are buying which helps meet RA, which helps meet primarily MTR bridge, because we are short. It's a compliance requirement we have to buy, and that comes from an import energy, but it happens to be clean. So it fits all three buckets, meeting MTR, it helps meeting resource adequacy. Because we take energy delivery, we have to take energy delivery to meet the bridge requirement as well as RA requirements when it's coming from outside California. And it happens to be clean. So hence it counts under carbon free as well. But you have a valid point. It can be bucketed in several different ways. There is no MTR line here. So hence we can, I think, put it under carbon free.
Yeah, as I say, it just makes things more fuzzy, but I don't know how, as you say, it could fit into a number of buckets, but it's weird putting it in the carbon free because it has such a big impact on the carbon free because it's a small bucket.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just for my information. And then the only other question I had, and maybe this was asked before, but obviously there's quite a significant delay in terms of our quarterly financials, months of delay. Is that really the quickest that we can be reporting on a quarterly provisional basis? I guess that's from Maida.
Yeah, that might be Maida or Megan.
Go ahead, Maida.
So, Director Wilkinson, it takes months for us to do the settlement with CAISO. So we do have some preliminaries throughout the month. So our system gets updated weekly, but to have numbers that can be put in the interim financial statements, we do need a leeway of a couple months to do that, couple to 3 months to do that.
Okay, but in terms of just the monthly charts that you're showing here, just as indicative, it just looks really weird that you're still like 4 months behind. Even just on the energy side, there must be some indicatives there that could be stressed as being just indicative, but that would be useful for visibility purposes.
Yeah, we released this report last month.
Yes.
So it's that's the cadence that we can. Like I said, we do have some preliminary numbers, but they are not ready to be put in an interim statement. And that is just how things work with the ISO, with our settlements. So all of our invoices besides energy, sure, they are ready way before that. We have it in our numbers. But to count cost of energy, it's we do need more time.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the quarterly statements. I'm just talking about the charts that you provide, even if there's just an indicative monthly cost of energy, so that we had a sense how things are going more quickly.
The the problem with this is that we can put out data, and
Right.
then as we get settlements, we're gonna have to make corrections to that data. So
Right.
we're gonna have to explain something and then go back and take it back and explain it again. So that would not be productive. And that would cause, I'm afraid that that could cause confusion.
Okay. I mean, I think we can disagree there because I think just some indicative knowing that there will be revisions can be helpful. But I guess the question is, how significant can the changes be vis-a-vis if you were putting out what you know today, for example, for April, how much could that change once you get the quarterly results?
It can swing very, very wide.
Okay.
So we can put in numbers and then we get settlements. So we have a couple of different things. We have like our weekly Kaizo report that we paid. It's the settlements report, and with that, they are on a schedule, and each week they go back certain weeks in the past, so it can swing very, very high. So
Okay.
to put some preliminary numbers, I have Cal from procurement. Maybe you want to speak a
Yeah.
little bit more about the settlements.
Thanks, man. I could have taken the question. I got distracted, didn't hear the question completely firsthand. But yeah, so the way Kaiser runs, director, is they run the market day ahead. Of course, that's a big market. That's where financially most of the things happening. And then there is real time, which is really imbalanced. But they take 3 business days to give a preliminary statement, just like for everybody to know where their numbers would land. But that's not final. Biggest reason is the meter data, how the meter data, shows up, especially on the consumption side, which is not clear. On the generation side, Kaiser does have the real-time telemetry meter, so they know what's happening. That's how they're able to dispatch the resources. They can see the load, but the biggest, they give time for everybody to kind of true up their meter data, and that takes time. And Kaiser, once they take all that information, they republish the statement again like 55 days after, which is one of the first times we get to see a really good quality, statements, I would say. But yeah, there is T3 for credit purposes, just for people to kind of settle, not to sit on it. But T55 is a real statement where you could see the more accurate information. So that's typically like 2 months out, a little bit over 2 months, right? 55 business days. So I would say right around, I think 3 month mark, I think that's when we can have a good complete statements to tell the story of our cost. But if you wanted, we can do one at T3 or T10, but they would be swings, right? I think it depends on our preference now, right? Should we just take the preliminary statement, do some forecasting, and show where the numbers are landing, or wait till at least we get a good quality settlement statement from Kaiso, which is typically over 2 months, I would say around 2-3 months, and then come back with those numbers.
And I also would like to add that the coming months for the summer, we will experience even larger swings.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
And thank you for explaining that, from
Yeah.
a staff point of perspective, what's the best practice in terms of presenting this complex data that can have swings, and trying to be as consistent in the information and the messaging to us and to the public who are watching. I'm sorry, Vicken, did you want to say something
Well,
too?
sure, just a couple things. First, thank you very much, Director Alessio. So, really appreciate the discussion is where we see the intersection of CAISO markets, procurement, load forecasting, forward pricing, and of course, finances. Right? Welcome to the utility world. So, this is such a great intersection of really things that we need to discuss, understand, and see how do we move forward with it. So really appreciate that, and I'm sure we're going to have more to discuss and show for you. I just want to go back to the several questions that were discussed about customer counts and what have you, and whomever that can, Jessica, maybe if you want to promote Jamie if needed. I just want to say that in the board packet, there is a monthly active customer load trend provided to you. There's a as well, if there are any questions. So we are providing, it's in a graphic format that how the variation happens, and it is a net positive. But as Director Andre and I did just have a quick chat, is that for large customers, we are watching that very closely. I cannot emphasize that enough. But the net trend is a positive, and we can add that we can look at adding to the Treasury report if it need be. But I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you, Vic. And
Sure.
Director Palmares?
Thank you, Chair. I've been reading a lot about the pending Super El Nino. Have we made any accommodations for that weather phenomenon?
A short answer is no. And we have had a very dynamic discussion about the budget, how we did that together, how we put that together. We went basically backward trends that we keep on adding to it to come up with our forecasting. But we can probably absorb a week or so of extreme type-ish weather. But there is so much more that can impact the California ISO. Fires, even though we can have significant, even surplus resources, it can impact transmission availability that can pinch somewhere to have no resource. But the same case actually provides surplus conditions to other places where the prices can drop. So it depends where you are. A natural quote unquote disaster is not necessarily negative for everybody in the electricity market because it can create surpluses other places. If you look at the ISO website on day ahead or active hour market conditions, you can see that you have from the 3,500 nodes that ISO continues to track and we track to see where prices are. You have substations that are maybe a couple miles apart. One is at $3,000, the other one is negative $500 under extreme system conditions. So, but the short answer is no. If it's a sustained long periods of heat with other elements in the market conditions, we would definitely need to calculate to see what that means to us.
I appreciate that context. Thank you, Vicken.
Sure.
Yeah.
But thanks for the question. That's a really good question. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see any, I see the directors have asked their questions. Do we have any public comment on this item?
I see no reason. Actually, Dan Sejadin.
No.
Okay. Dan, you have 3 minutes to provide your public comment.
Great. Thank you, Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Thank you. Oh, I wanted to, first of all, thank staff for providing all that detail on the Super 6 with the commentary. That is extremely helpful. So thank you for doing that. Looking forward to seeing that in the future. Very helpful. I wanted to make a comment about, we would love to see the quarterly income statement and balance sheet kind of next to the year to date. Gives you just a clear indication of what just went on, most recently. So just kind of putting in that request. And then also in terms of this timing issue, we can come back to this and revisit it. I think the bottom line is there is a trade-off between accuracy and being able to respond quickly and getting an earlier indication of what is going on. So that trade-off is kind of ripe. And we do know, and I want to look into this further, we do know there's one or two other CCAs that, put their stuff out faster, their finance committee meetings and so on. And I don't know if they're settling on T10 or what they're using, but they've obviously made the trade-off that sooner is better to get an indication to people so that you have, faster decision-making and quicker responsiveness in what are fast-moving markets. So anyway, something that could be revisited. Just wanted to add that given what we'd seen at other CCAs. Thank you very much. And again, thank you for the additional reporting on the Super 6.
All right.
Thank you, Dan. We appreciate that. Any other public comment, Jessica, online?
I see no additional raised hands, Chair.
Okay. Director Palmaris, is there anybody there for public comment? Just confirming.
Nope.
No. Director Wilkinson?
No.
Bill by yourself? Okay. Director Andres? No. And Director McCormick?
No.
No. Okay. I don't have anybody either. So that item is closed with, again, thank you staff for your hard work on that. And listening to this, the directors here and their requests along with the public. Moving on to item 7, which is committee and staff announcements. And it's also a time that we can make any requests for future agenda items. Director Wilkinson.
Thank you. I wanted to see whether in the next month or so we can try and develop a work plan for the Finance Committee. So really just a sort of long range calendar so that we know that the items that always come throughout the year and when they'll be coming, like the budget and the audit and what, which months they'll be coming in, but also other items that might be coming forward, and whether that would be an opportunity for members of the Finance Committee to just email staff with some of their suggestions of things that they might like to see, and then staff can determine whether they have the bandwidth to put those onto the Finance Committee agenda.
Okay. Thank you for that. Vicken or Maida, any response to that? Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, I did.
And this is a new committee, so I know we're just kind of getting settled
that's
in.
fine.
But
We are internally thinking about something similar already to address not only this committee, but the board as wide and the other committees, just to preemptively and proactively say these things are coming for your consideration. So we're working on it, and let's see how the timing is going to go about delivering all those things. And but we will definitely keep you informed. Yes, thank you.
So Vicky, is it okay if we just email you and Maida some of our suggestions in terms of things that we might like to see on the finance side? And you can say no. You can absolutely say we can't do this, but really just what we've seen in terms of best practice or from our experience in terms of what's normal. But if we can do that, that'd be great. And I think developing those long range calendars for all of the committees and boards would be fantastic. And if that's what you're planning, I would really support that.
Yes, and I will need to depend on and work with all the department heads. But my only request is, as long as you keep the chair included in that email, I would really appreciate it. Please, humbly, I ask that, I'm really trying very hard to reduce the chaos a little bit.
Right.
Not only from external, but internal dynamics as well. So please be patient with me, and we will do the best we can moving forward. But yeah, feel free, and all of you, to send such requests, and we will definitely put them all together, have another discussion. I mean, that's the robust way of addressing things. Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Thank you so much.
Sure.
yeah, and as I noted, I mean, this is a new committee where I think staff and all of us are kind of settling in, feeling our way in the sense of what will be future standing items, that we can expect on this committee. And I'm sure other committees are thinking the same thing, along with the board, that we know we're going to get quarterly reports, we're going to have annual budgets. There's going to be things that are going to be given. That'll be standing items, and I'm sure there'll be adjustments along the way. I just want us to continue to be mindful of the staff, the culture at MCE, the stressors that are from the outside, the inside, and staff time. As shared in a past board meeting, I asked leadership about the number of additional hours and the cost to the agency this last year is around the tune of $500,000, if I remember correctly, and a lot of hours. So we want to be mindful of, again, we want to continue to improve in terms of best practices, and I totally see that with staff, but we also want to be mindful of the time and what they can do. So I'm sure it'll work itself out, but I just want to state that at the same time. Are there any other comments or requests from the directors or staff? Okay. Well, look at us. We're at
Awesome.
item number 8. Oh, did I hear somebody?
I was just saying, great
Oh.
meeting, Chair. We got through in an hour. That's awesome.
We did. We're going to adjourn at 11 a.m. And our next regular meeting will be on May 28th, 2026, once again at 10 a.m. And that's our regular standing meeting. So thank you, everybody, for your time. Staff, thank you for your time and presentation. And we'll see each other soon.
Sorry, Director
Yes.
Alessio,
Yes.
your last statement made me think. So we had an internal discussion because this is a special meeting that we had moved it to.
Yes.
At this time, we seem to not have anything to bring to the committee this month again.
Okay.
We will keep you all
Yeah,
informed in
couple
case
weeks.
anything changes for your consideration. So
Yeah, and actually, I was going to email you, Chair. I am not available on the 28th anyway. So I'm just
Okay.
going to have to not that, but
okay.
whatever happens. It's fine. I just want to let you know.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Very good. So it may not be the 28th. It could be the fourth Thursday in the following month in June. Okay. Excellent. All right. Keep us posted.
Thank
you,
you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day and good weekend. Happy
Thank you.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
All those moms.
Moms.